I was in my room one day, staring at the wall. I looked outside my window pane and I saw it was a day to ball. It was a day to ball. What y'all know about that HTOWN? What's the motherfucking deal, SauceNation? It's your boy Ed Honcho, aka at the real Ed Honcho, and this is a Sauce Sports special. If you don't know what Sauce Sports is a Houston Homer channel. So we talking about Texans, Astros, Rockets, Dynamo, Dash. We talking about collegiate, U of H. We talking Owls. We talking Tigers, PV. High school, amateur, semi-pro, whatever it may be. But if it's got that H-Town in it, if it's got anything to do with Houston, we're gonna put a little bit of flavor on it. We're gonna splash, get the flavor everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And you're dripping all kind of sauce on that shit right there. But if you're not a Houston homer, if you're not a Houston fan, fair warning, don't be mad at me if you continue on from this point. I'm advising you to leave immediately because this is H-Town with H-Town flavor. If you're not a fan of H-Town, you're not going to like what you hear. So anyway, with that being said, how many of y'all know where that opening line came from? I know I've been giving y'all some easy lobs the last couple of videos. We're going to see how many of y'all really fucking with that H-Town music. If y'all know where that one came from, drop that in the comments below. But y'all been figuring the other ones out, so I ain't going to make it hard. But like I say, today we inside NRG Stadium. And when we inside NRG, we full of NRG energy, Texans energy, and we're going to talk about a couple of things today. This is what yesterday's video was about, but then it turned into me going on a tangent about Mr. Watson and how I feel about him. So actually, I want to do a continuation from that and just talk about the realistic rookie expectations from this year's draft picks. I mean, you want everybody to come in, you want them to be who they were in college and just automatically be stars, but they're starting at the bottom of the totem pole and having to work themselves back up. So, let's just look at what we can really expect. Like I said yesterday with Deshaun Watson, I really don't want to see him play this year. If possible, that means two things. If he doesn't have to play this year, one, Savage is doing very well, which means the team is doing very well. It means we're winning games because I don't have any qualms. I'm not worried about that defense. I don't see them falling off the rails. I see them holding it down as long as we avoid injury. And all the other pieces are there on that offense. So that means that if we're not doing well, then Savage is not doing well, then we can expect to see Watson or Whedon, depending on whoever comes in. But I would like to let Watson just soak in that offense. Marion, I know a lot of people just throw him in the fire. And I understand what you're saying. He's been a winner. He's won games. But the way I see it is it's better to be comfortable with your tool set. Yeah, you can know your set. You can know what you need to know. But it's the difference being knowing something and being comfortable with it. Being able to recollect it like that or maybe taking a second or two to recall it. Those 1 or 2 seconds can be the difference between winning and losing, depending on what play is being called. But anyway, like I said, getting off Watson, we had a whole video about Watson yesterday. I want to talk about the other guys that we drafted this year and what my potential expectations are. You can, of course, leave a comment down below. Y'all already know how this is, SauceNation. I'm a fan talking to the fans. This is a commentary, so I'm speaking my piece. And, of course, always, I love to hear your opinion down below. So, definitely do that. Let me know how you feel. So, getting to number 2, Zach Cunningham. Not going to start. I don't see him being a starter. Of course, they say he's drafted to be Cushing's eventual replacement and things like that. Some people are stating he's got some tackling issues, as far as wrapping up and stuff like that. Why I like this kid is because he's always where the ball is. No matter where the ball is, that dude seems to be around the pile. And guys like that are what you want. Even if he's just slowing the play up, if he's not securing the tackle, but you want that. You want the secure tackle because sometimes you get that one-on-one, that tackle for a loss off a missed tackle can easily become many yards gain. You know what I mean? So you want to work on that. You want to tighten that up, especially in the league where the big boys play. But I could definitely see him this year getting significant time on special teams, definitely playing a backup role. Like I say, not going to see a starter share of minutes, but definitely having a significant impact and seeing some playing time. Like I say, but he's definitely going to have to work on some things, put on a little bit of weight. But that's definitely doable between now and the beginning of the season. If he eats right, work it out right. It's hard, but it's definitely doable. So definitely, like I say, Zach Cunningham, I would like to see him on mine, but I'd like to see more of him on the field this year than I would of Watson. And I'm not saying that because I think Watson's bad. I just think, Zach, where he's at, he can contribute some things, and he's not going to be dependent upon to carry the team on his shoulders. Next one. Like I said initially, and I made a video and I went back and I recanted my statements. I apologize, SauceNation. Y'all told me, and I looked into it and I got my shit together. I got right, and I did some study. I did some research. I'm talking about D'Onta Foreman. D'Onta Foreman was a 3rd round guy, and I expect to see him have a significant contribution. Um, you know, you still got Blue there. You still got a couple other guys, but I think with his skill set, what he brings to the table, a very versatile guy. A lot of people say a LeGarrette Blunt type. Maybe. I don't know. I think he's got his own little style to him because, like I say, he can run. He's got the size that looks like he can run some guys over. But he's got that getaway speed, and that's what you want. So I definitely see him spelling Lamar Miller a lot. And depending on how healthy Lamar can stay, maybe eventually becoming seeing some starting minutes if anything happens, and hopefully, like a knock on wood, I'm hoping not that anything happens, but I think that eventually he'll be the guy. He'd be able to shoulder a lot of that if Lamar goes down. Definitely don't want Blue in the mix. Like I say, the thing about Blue is he's a I don't know, he's a good guy. And like I said, there's plays, sometimes you can see certain plays he runs hard, but it's just he doesn't have that getaway, that breakaway. It's just that, and it's not saying that he needs top end speed, but it's just he just doesn't have any kind of getaway speed. And so, like I said, I definitely see him overtaking Blue for maybe that second spot and seeing some significant yard. Thinking like Ben Tate Foster. Well, Ben Tate was hurt that first year when he broke his ankle, but when he came back, I'm thinking, not saying comparable numbers exactly, but I'm seeing good numbers from both guys having a running back by committee type deal. That I could definitely see happen with Deontay Foreman. Blue, if he's still on the roster, it's special teams type stuff because he's made some great special teams play in his career. But as far as being a running back, I just don't see Blue there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like Hunt better. I like Foreman better. I like basically everything that we have over Alfred Blue. And that's not a knock on Blue. Like I said, I think he's a good, hard-working guy. And that's where we start going into Carlos Watkins. I think is going to have an impact. I think he's going to play similar to how Reeder was to Will Fork. I see something similar to that happening. Like I say, we'll have to see, like I say, when the pads get on, things translate a lot differently. It's a different ball game as far as, being in shorts and shirts as it is to playing in pads. So we'll see, how he handles, how he can work against the big boys. But I think to his advantage, we'll be having guys like Watt and Clowney around him. And just that overall defense, I think they just gel with it. So it won't be a lot of pressure on him. I think he'll be able to do some things. I expect a lot from him because his film just, his highlight film is great. And like I say, that whole Clemson connection that we got going, I think a lot of those Clemson players, of course, they're going to feel real comfortable here because of, I guess, Houston has become Clemson country or something. I don't know. But I'm not knocking it because I like every player that we've got. Watkins, then on the other side of the ball, we're talking about Julian Davenport. I don't know. By all accounts, like I said, I'm hearing a lot of stuff like the game. He still he's going to have to catch up to the pace of the game. As far as got a good body type and all those other things, I don't see him doing too much this year. I don't know if he's competing. I don't see him competing for a job this year. Hopefully not, because if that's the case, then we're in maybe a bad spot as far as the O-line goes and O-line depth goes. But he's one of those projects that you want to work on. Kyle Treston, and I'm gonna be honest, it's the one guy I've consistently just not been super high on. I don't know why. I just don't see it. People are saying that he may be a go-between between corner and safety. Yeah, I can see it maybe more at a safety spot. I just don't see it as a. I mean, like I said, I watched some of his highlights. I've actually watched like some game film. I just don't see it. He's a guy. He's around the ball. But it just seems like sometimes he just happens to affect the play, but not necessarily making the play to me. That's what I've seen from the guy. But the fact that you got a guy that's always around to be able to affect the play, I guess that helps. And if you can work on the technique, you can work on the small things, then I guess, then that becomes a benefit. And last but not least, like I say, Kyle Fuller, I'm not sure exactly what role they're going to try to play with him. I know he's done the center thing. I don't know if how well he's faring competing against everybody else, but like I said, I just haven't heard a whole bunch about him. But I don't expect a lot from him either. I don't really expect too much from either of the rookies. I expect those guys to be there to kind of soak up as far as on the O-line, to kind of soak it up and be prepared for the future, to build upon, similar to how Derek Newton was or has had developed. I'm hoping that's what they're intending to try to do with those guys, to develop them, for long-term stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, that was awful. Anyway, South Nation. So, like I say, that's just the way I feel about those guys. You guys let me know what you think as far as the rookies that we got this year. What do you think? Do you think that these guys are going to have a bigger impact than what I think? Do you see some of these guys not seeing any playing time? What do you think about the Cow? Because, like I say, I'm just not. I want them to prove me wrong. So when I say these things, man, like I say, when I say I'm not high on somebody, I don't want to say that I don't like them. That's just to say that, man, I want to see him do good. Prove me wrong. Hey, if I'm saying something crazy and it benefits the team, prove me wrong. But I just don't see it. But let me know what you guys think about the rookies that we got, and what impact do you think that these guys will bring to the table, this year, as far as realistic expectations. I did a thing talking about immediate impact and guys who could be an immediate impact, but let's curb our enthusiasm, like I always say. Not always, every now and then. I like to be over the top with the homer shit, but let's be realistic. What do you see these rookies contributing to the team, if anything at all? But with that being said, man, I already know. Please subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm talking about, man. We're getting close. We're on the way. I think the last time I checked on this one, we were 940 something. And, listen, I'm trying to make that push, trying to make that play for 1K, baby. You know what I'm saying? If we can make that happen, let's do that, SauceNation. You know what I'm saying? SauceNation is an army. You know what I'm saying? Better yet, a Navy. Y'all don't know where that line came from either. That ain't no HTOWN stuff. That was some old stuff. I know y'all know where that came from. Anyway, with that being said, I'm showing my age. It's your boy Ed Honcho, man. You can catch me at The Real Ed Honcho on Instagram and Twitter, or you can catch me at Sauce Sports HTX if you only want those Houston saucy sports takes. And so, like I say, man, we get to let's make that play for 1K, Sauce Nation. Like I say, tell your mama, tell your cousin, tell your daddy, tell your girlfriend. I put sauce on all of them. If they want the flavor, if they want that H-Town flavor, let's give them the sauce, man. Put them on, and they'll thank you for it later, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, deuce up. I'm out. Sauce Nation, y'all be cool.